Hey, once again, you've fallen straight into hell of Vella, and I cannot wait for you to see who we've got here today to talk to and hear this young, fresh writer's mind. Forget it. Here's Bethany Gates, Hella Vella author. Say hi.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. You bet. I have been looking forward to this for a while.
Yes.
Bethany writes the craziest story out. Well, she's got the craziest story out there. It's called Attack of the Mattress. And all I can tell you is if you like comedy, and it's great. It's great. Just check it out. It's short. It doesn't take you long to read. I think you'll love it. I can't even remember how many episodes it is.
8.
It's only 8 episodes. Attack of the Mattress.
It's very short.
Go out, read that sucker. Give it the thumbs it deserves. I think I looked before we started the video, and it's got like at least 5-star reviews. 7. I want to say 7.
Sorry, if we're gonna say,
oh man, 7 5-star reviews. It deserves it. It deserves it. And
Thank you very much.
Okay, and so there it is. Now I'm going to ask the question that I was asking in our pre-talk, and I didn't want her to answer it on the pre-talk, so I hit record. Here we go. When did you start writing?
So I started writing when I was 15, technically, but it was just something that I did in my room, in private, never something to do in public or ever show to anybody ever. And then after I got to college, I was about 18 going on 19. I was writing, and my friends, quote unquote, caught me, if you will.
I see.
And they were like, oh my God, you should write for the student newspaper. And I was like, oh, no. Like, there's no way that I could ever do that publicly. Like, there's just no way. So one of them, she was the student photographer. Her name was Brooke. And Brooke tricked me into going to a student newspaper meeting. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to do this. Like, I'm not into it. So it was the very beginning of the semester. The newspaper staff was coming together. They were recruiting new writers. They were going around the room. Everybody's introducing themselves, saying who they are, what their title is, and what they do for the newspaper. And Brooke she was the first one to go. So, and I was sitting next to her. So it went all the way around the table, and then it gets to me, and everybody's staring at me. And I was about to be like, I'm just here with her. Like, I'm not here for this. And she cut me off, and she's like, oh, she's with me. This is Bethany Gates, and she's got a dream of being a writer. And I was like, and everybody's staring at me. And I was like, oh, we're going to do that? No. I'm a fighter, man. Like, if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. So I was just like, yeah, I don't think there's any real talent at this school, and I have no interest in being here. And I thought that they would, kick me to the curb, like, little attitude, all that. No, the first rule of being a writer, which I didn't know yet, is know your audience. And I was in front of a bunch of rebelling liberal arts students. They broke up into applause. I was like, no. Next thing I know, the editor-in-chief comes up to me. You're a great fit. You're going to need some horoscopes by next week. I'm like, what? The next thing I know, I have an assignment and a deadline. So it's like, so I had no idea what I was doing. So I was like, all right, I was like, just figure it out. So I was doing research, and I did my best to put something together. I had no idea how horoscopes writers work or what goes into it.
Oh
so
my God.
I was just going with it. And then so I submitted it to my very first editor. I will never forget him, Justin Prep Talks. He calls me into the clock office.
Justin Breadbox?
Pref Talks.
Okay.
I'm probably saying it wrong. It's probably a fancy French meaning. It's probably not even French. I don't know. But anyway, so he calls me in to talk to me about the article. And he's like, okay. I was like, oh, is everything okay? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, everything is good. He's like, they're very well written. Like, this is good to go. He's like, but you need a title. And I said, oh, no, just horoscopes, horoscopes by Bethany Gates, let's not kid ourselves. Like, people know what horoscopes are, just simple. And he's like, that's boring. And I'm like, well, that's what I want to call them. And so we went back and forth, and he wouldn't let it go. So I got, me being just a natural, comedian smartass that I am, I go, how about goddess? And he rolls his eyes. It's like, I want you to take this seriously. And I was like, yeah, no, I think that's right. Goddess Beth. How about Goddess Beth knows all? And he's like, I really would like you to take this seriously. I was like, I am. I was like, Horoscopes by Bethany Gates. And I left the room. And the newspaper came out on Fridays. And so, when it finally came out, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to see my writing, for the first time in print. Like, this is really exciting for me.
Oh God.
And so I was like, I grabbed a newspaper and I ran to my first class. And, a few minutes early, I sat down, I opened it up, and in big black letters, Goddess Beth knows all. And he took the horoscopes and put them like a frame around like a full body shot. I was told it was going to be a headshot. They saw me in my little punk rock outfit wearing like black and white striped stockings, and I'm wearing Docs, and I'm like, and standing in front of like a fireplace. It's just, oh God, it was awful. I was like, oh my God, this is not cool. And I was like, well, like, who even reads the newspaper? Like, it's kind of like a nerdy thing to read the newspaper, right? Like, nobody's going to be doing this. Put it down. I look up, and like, there's several students with open newspapers are just shooting me nasty looks, like, oh, she's so full of herself and an ego. And I was like, do I like try to explain? Like, what do I do? And I was like, no. Reached into my backpack, put on my purple aviator sunglasses. I'm like, I'm owning it. And that was a little persona I carried all throughout college.
Oh my God. You had to hang on to Goddess Beth for 4 years.
Well, I mean, I wrote the column for about 2 or 3 years. So, and then I quote unquote graduated into a column. And I started writing a column that was called Human Nature, which was a throwback to Madonna, because I was very much into her. I mean, I still am, who isn't? And I was like, let's give that little jaded, egocentric woman in her, like, who's like 2021, hear me roar phase column to write 500 plus words of whatever she wants every single week. So that was a lot of fun at that time too. Yeah, it was very cool. And that's how my writing career started.
All right, good. Okay, well, now it's starting to make sense. It makes sense because she told me before we got started, I said, when did you get started writing? She said, I feel like I want to tell you that it's right after high school, but actually I was tricked into it. I said, oh no, you're not going to say another word. We're going to hit the record button. So that's where that came from, folks. And yes, okay, now it makes sense. And so for 2.5 years, you had to write that column. And so you wore the purple aviators and the smart ass that went with them for most of college.
Yeah, that last part came pretty natural though, so that worked out.
Well, that's excellent. So after college, which you look like you maybe graduated 5 minutes ago. So
fantastic.
So after college, what did you use your writing skills?
So yes. So a few years after I graduated, I had actually gone into the corporate world, but I was really, really missing the writing. So I found an opportunity, it was the only opportunity I could find. It was for an LGBT publication.
Okay.
And part of why that's funny is because this is way before, like, there wasn't even a trans person like on the celebrity circuit yet, like not that one that was out publicly, at least.
Oh, so this is
like
back.
Way before. Yeah, like having like an LGBT friend is not yet fashionable, but I was like, it's a job. I mean, and I had grown up with LGBT people, so for me it was ain't no thing. So I went, and Justin's little prank struck again. They're like, oh, what have you done in the past? And I was like, oh, I used to write horoscopes. So like, okay, great, we'd like to see some. He sees the title and he's like, we're just gonna call them horoscopes, okay? I go, that's fine. So he's looking at me like, this is what
I've come full circle.
So, and that was an incredible experience, so because it was a gay publication, so where do the gays like to have their launches? They like to have them at gay clubs. So I would have to show up at these places, to promote my writing, to promote the magazine. And it was a lot of fun. Like, oh my God, nobody loves a dance party like the LGBT people do. It was so much fun. And there was this one incident where I had met somebody. We were just talking, and I was like, "Oh my God! I'm meeting like the one straight guy here. Like, wow, this is amazing." And he's like, "You write the horoscopes?" I said, "I do." And then I said, "Do you write for the magazine as well?" And he goes, "Yes." He's like, "I have a column called Ask Jake," and I was like, "Oh." I go, "Jake?" I was like, "Yeah, Ask Jake." He's like, "Yes." I go, so I never read the magazine, but I knew what Ask Jake was because it always printed next to the horoscope. So when I would check my print, I would notice that next to it. So Jake and I had been having a wonderful conversation, and it turned out Jake was trans. And like, I was so amazed by Jake. Like, I was like, I have to ask you 1,000 super personal questions that are totally none of my business, just because I had been surrounded by, the LBG part of it, but never a T. So I was just like, I have to meet this person. Like, I want to understand. This is like a rock star that I'm meeting, and just such a amazing individual. Like I said, there was not even a celebrity yet who was trans, like that was mainstream. And here this person was publishing articles in this publication about transitioning. Like, just such a confident and well-adjusted individual, like just an incredible person to meet in my writing career. It was really cool.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Very awesome. So how long did you spend with this publication?
Did that, I want to say, I think it was just under a year, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was good. And then after that, I switched over into screenwriting. Had a couple of writing assignments, which is very interesting. Yeah, it was.
Now, how does one start out in screenwriting?
Well, I started out taking classes. So I took a bunch of classes, and then I started going to networking events. I started meeting other screenwriters. I started meeting producers, which is really cool, and just networking. And then one producer had an assignment. He was actually another writer, and he needed another writer on the project. So I was just writing drafts, and he was considered like the main writer, and I was just like a part of the project, if you will.
Wow.
And then I also had just networked with some other producers and have had an opportunity to do just like small assignments as well.
Oh, that is really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't have a sense of how much time this is, but
Sure.
Bring us forward. And how did you find out about Kindle Vella?
Oh, okay. So during the pandemic, let's fast forward a bit. During the pandemic, lockdown happened. I did not know what was going on in the world. And, I had completely lost track of my writing at this point. Like, it was dust in the wind. And it was something that I really, really needed to reconnect with again. And I was like, I don't know if I'm coming or going. Like, this is at the point where the world is like, we're at a standstill. Everything
Right.
was closed. Everybody's, social distancing. Everybody's in lockdown in their houses. So I basically decided, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm going to create a website, and I'm just going to start telling stories. And I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to tell everybody I knew. And I started telling my community. People started following me. It was a lot of fun. I call it madness because that is my life, so much so, like everything I encounter. Be it from like the funny part of madness all the way to the insanity of the madness. Like, that really is just.
So are you still writing on this site?
Yes and no. It's currently on hiatus at the moment because I'm having this love affair with Kindle Vella. So
Right. Right. I can
So
see why you would.
yeah.
There's an element to Kindle Vella that
Mhm.
doesn't come with your own personal website.
Right, exactly. So
Mm-mm.
plus I'm just meeting a lot of new writers, and it's just I love the networking aspect. I love the community of it. It's just a wonderful experience so far. So I was doing it, and just really just honing my craft, getting into it, just really feeling it. And then one of my writer buddies had reached out, and she said, "Have you heard of Kindle Vella?" She's like, "I feel like your stuff would do really well on Kindle Vella." And I said, "No, what's that? I've never heard of this." So I started researching it, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "This is like a novella format. I understand that it's, episodic and it's serial writing, but I just wanted to write novellas. That's why I put all my episodes up, like I'm like Netflix, like go ahead and binge that stuff, where I understand like there's a different, type of styles for even the Vella writers, which is really interesting to see. So yeah, I threw up Mattress, like just to see what would happen. Like I developed it completely, unique for that site, like completely just creating dialogue. Because before I just talked generally about just what it was to, crazy to get a mattress. But then with Vella, I was like, no, I want to get into the nitty gritty and the details and the horror that was trying to buy a mattress. And what's wild about that is I have had at least like 2 or 3 friends read that story and be like, I was able to get a mattress in a day because I read that story. And I'm like, well, good for you. I'm glad it worked out for you. Like,
Public service announcement there.
yes, exactly. Like fantastic. So yes. And then, so I did that. I launched that in December of 2021. And then now I've recently launched a new novella, which is Help Wanted. And that came out this week. So we're March 2022.
Help Wanted. And again, the links will be in the video description, and you have to click these.
Yes.
You definitely do. So, so tell me about Help Wanted. We know that Attack of the Mattress is about the horrors surrounding trying to get a new mattress.
Yes, like when you just want a good night's sleep, when you're an insomniac and you're up all night, and even a horse tranquilizer doesn't work on you at this point, like you just need to get some sleep. Yes, that is what Attack of the Mattress is all about, is trying to buy a mattress, which is insane. Like who writes about trying to buy a mattress? Me.
I couldn't do it, but you have done a grand job of it, I have to say.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
so tell me about Help
Wanted. So Help Wanted was about, basically being a writer, trying to find that balance, because you have to have like, your way of making money versus your writing career. Sometimes, those are not necessarily the same thing, and it's beautiful when it is. But for the rest of us, when it's not, trying to find that balance. So it was, I managed to get this temporary job, but here's the thing that costs you another, currency, which is time. So, it was taking away from the time, and it was just this very eccentric human that I encountered. He was a gem, definitely a diamond in the rough. I have never met anybody like him before. This was an individual who insisted that I hit him in the face. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to do that. But he insisted on it. And my opening scene is basically just that, like the entire office like came to like witness this happen. And I'm just staring while all these people are staring at me, trying to figure out, what do I do here? Like, there's got to be like a PC way of getting out of this. Like, you know what? This really does not align with my values. Or like, I'm sure there's other employees who would oblige this request. Or just anything. Just like, because
why?
Yes, why? Exactly. And that's part of the story as well.
Oh my God. I love it.
Man, I'm just trying to work. I'm just trying.
And how many episodes? How many episodes has Help Wanted, since you just jammed it up there?
Help Wanted has 9.
9. So Mattress has 8 and
8.
Help Wanted has 9.
9,
I just, these lengths are really great.
Yeah, they're short
So-
and sweet.
So how many words are they? Approx.
Oh, geez, that's a great question.
Within a
I would
couple thousand.
I would say Help Wanted is maybe like 9 to 10,000. Ooh, I'm really shooting from the hip here, trying to guess. I would say Mattress is probably 8 to 9,000 if I had to take a guess. Like I feel like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check after this, and it's gonna be like, oh, it's 2,000. Like it's gonna be like a completely different
come on,
number.
no.
There's like 20,000. Like it's a
It can't
completely
be.
different number. Like I have no idea.
No, I think you're right. I think they're both. I mean, I don't know both. Let's just talk. I'll just talk about Help Wanted like I've read it too. No, but I know Mattress is under 10.
Yes,
you
Mattress is
can
under
get
10.
through that really quick.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to reread it again later
I can't
today.
wait. Yay.
Well, you won't get any more thumbs for it. If I click the thumb, it's going to unlike it. So,
oh no. Oh, because you already liked it.
because I did it 100 years ago, right after you put it up. Seems like 100 years ago. December was just yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Yeah, pandemic time is a very different type of time.
Now, I don't know where you are, but I'm in Washington, and our mask mandate just ended.
Oh, okay. So I'm in California, but I'm in a little pocket in California, which is called Orange County, where they got rid of their quote unquote mask mandate like a year ago. And I'm not saying that it didn't exist. It totally existed, but Orange County was just over it. They were very much over it. So yes.
Yes. And and so I won't go into the politics.
No, we don't have
but
to
it
go
sounds
into
like it's
that.
ending.
Yes.
It looks like it's ending for us.
Yes.
As a species, it looks like it's ending for us. I hope so. I certainly do.
I do too.
So what did before the pandemic, it does sound like during the intervening time between when you worked for the LGBTQ publication and pandemic, sounds like you had to go work for the corporate America.
Yep. Corporate America, startups, agency. Yeah, I've done several different avenues.
Right. So you have worked around in like various just any specialties or
marketing.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So,
well, I'm sure you can apply those skills.
Oh yes, I've needed to 100%. I mean, if you have an opportunity to check out my website, I mean, I built my website. I did ask somebody for her input on the design, but I designed my own logo. I designed all my branding, and I just put that across the board. The icons, like my weird little icons for Attack of the Mattress and Help Wanted, I designed both of those.
They are adorable and very effective. Very effective. I think.
I certainly hope so.
I like them very well. And I think it's very cool that you've got a look going, right?
Yeah.
You've only got 2 of them.
Right, yeah.
But there's another author on here who uses the old school looking cartoon characters. You know what I mean?
Seen that.
Like just a face and maybe like avant-garde kind of looking stuff.
But it's a face, because what I've seen.
Not really avant-garde. It's like somebody's face, but it's like a cartoon, like the old-fashioned paint-in cartoons.
Oh, okay.
God, oh my God. Do you know who Sophie Masters is?
The name sounds familiar.
Right. She's got several series out there, but she's only got that same type of artwork on her profile picture on Facebook. So why I brought her up, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all right.
But the other author that I'm thinking of, and the reason I brought it up was because I think that's great, because it becomes part of your branding.
Yes.
So your covers become part of your branding.
Absolutely.
And that 100%. Is, oh God, that is, that's
100%.
valuable.
Yes.
Powerful. Powerful.
So my logo is my initials, which is BWG. So it's reflective of, you know, the black, white, and gray. It's my writing style, it's my nationality, it's my name, it's all the above. So if you have a chance to go to my website, you'll see that logo, that black, white, and gray logo.
That is so awesome. I love it. I love it. And this is Vella, people. This
Yeah.
is Vella. This is why I'm doing this, because look at the people that are writing for Vella, you know, and these voices are new, they're fresh, you know, and it's a very exciting thing.
Yes,
it is a very exciting thing. So we've talked about Mattress, we've talked about the new one out there, and which is called Help Wanted. Everybody check that out too. What have you got for us on the burner for next?
Oof. So you know, I mean, comedy, you know, that's tragedy plus time. You know, comedy is not without its counterpart, tragedy. I'm working on a completely different story. It's not a comedy at all. The icon, while it'll have like a similar feel to the other two, it's not a face. It's a different style, because, you know, I want the faces to stay the comedies.
Yes.
But
I would think that would be genre specific.
Yes, I can't get into too much, but what I will say about it is that it is definitely a drama. It's definitely dark, and it covers a lot of very timely themes.
Excellent.
That's all I'll say. So I know that's very vague. It's not too,
that's all right.
much.
That's all right. Vagaries are okay when you're working on something.
Yes.
I mean, how on earth are you supposed to know how it's going to come out?
I know. So we'll see. I'm currently in process of that. And then I'm also, I'm at the very beginning of starting to work on an actual novel, which is a book of essays. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that just yet, if I'm going to self-publish or if I'm going to pitch to publishers or what have you. I'm just kind of exploring what that manuscript even looks like to begin with. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do with that material just yet. I'm still mulling it over.
And none of these essays would fit Vella?
So I've thought about doing like an essay style format thing on Vella, but it's not a cohesive story. And I wasn't sure if something like that would play over in Vella, because with Vella, everything I see, you think so? Because everything I see is a cohesive story, you know, like Mattress and Help Wanted, they're both cohesive stories. But if I was to do a completely different thing, it would just be like, every single episode would be a completely different story, a completely different scenario. I
interviewed a dude, I don't know, 3-4 days back, an author on Vella, that he does anthologies.
Really?
Yeah, and they're anthologies that are produced by several different authors. Yeah,
no kidding.
You know, and I'm sitting here going, and God, I hope he doesn't watch this video and go, so now I'm just the dude. Just the dude. Okay, well, that's great.
I've got to see that, because
I will send you the link.
Please do. I would love to see it, because I do have one idea.
They've already put out one, and they're putting out another. Right. So they put out one anthology, of different episodes contributed by different authors, and now they're working on the second one, and they pre-plan it by just saying, okay, this one's going to be about time travel.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And then everybody kicks in.
I've got to see this. That sounds so fascinating. Because I do have one idea for something, like if I was to do a series, because I've got a group that's all in the same theme. It's definitely comedy. It's like a comedy thriller type of scenario, but they're all individual.
Well, I have already decided for you that you are going to
do it. Just do it.
Those in Vella so that we can all see them.
Sure. I could do that.
And then, then you can put them in a book,
Sure.
We want you to put them in Vella too.
Put them in Vella too.
Yeah, put them in Vella too. That's what you gotta do. So yeah, I can't find the envelope I wrote his stuff on.
That's all right. No, I'm sure we'll connect.
Oh no, I have it. I can send it to you. It's right there in Facebook. I I think this brain doesn't work for remembering anything anymore.
No, that's totally fair. Like I'm at the point now where, I'll walk into a room to go get something and then I'll get there and I'll totally forget why I went in there in the first place.
But
Like,
can't
it
remember
just-
why the hell you're standing there.
yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, I retrace my steps and I go back to doing what I was doing. Then I was like, oh, right. And then I repeat it like at least 5 more times.
And you're
Like,
young.
yes.
You're young.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, my God, I got up the other morning and it was last weekend. I only do interviews on the weekends. I go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And and I got up at the crack of dawn on Friday morning. And actually was on the wrong Friday in Zoom. And I had somehow forwarded up to April. And I texted this poor author and I'm like, well, I'm on, I'm waiting for you. They're like, hey, I thought my interview was blah. So I scared the crap out of some poor person at the butt crack of dawn last Friday morning because I'm too stupid to even get on the right month.
No,
that's
brilliant.
I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. And the other person whose interview it actually was like texting me going, it says that the presenter is going to let me in. I'm like, well, the presenter's too stupid to even click on the right link.
Oh no.
Well, accidents happen.
It happens.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to watch out for that from now on. Get on the right month, Mariel. And it's important. It's important as.
I love
anyway, so that's what you've got out there, what you've got coming. Sounds intriguing.
Yes.
You're one of our Vella authors with marketing sense. That's wonderful. And then let's see. What's the next question I want to ask you? I know.
Sure.
What Vella's out there do you like to read?
There was one that I thought was really intriguing. I'm probably going to botch the title. It was called Mayhem, Murder, and Macaroons.
Yeah.
Murder, Mayhem, and Macaroons. That's why I know Macaroons.
That's right. Oh, yes.
I really enjoyed that one. There's also, there's another one. I really like Christopher Love, The Adventures of Super Dick. I think that's so funny. Like that title is just gold.
He's being interviewed here in a week or two.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait.
I would definitely, that's another writer I definitely want to get to know better. Let's see, there's some other writers who I just, even if I haven't read their work, I just like them as people. Like there's so many people in this community that I just look forward to seeing, like their shares or whatever they have coming out. Like, geez, trying to think, like Tyrone Sloan, Emery Atkins, Nat Paga. Like I'm always excited to see like what other writers are doing. Like it's just such a great community. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, the Godfather, Gage Greenwood.
Come here.
Yes.
Well, I have to admit to being a member of Agents of Chaos. I
need to check that out. I've seen, I don't know if it was his son who was wearing the t-shirt or.
Oh, his little boy.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, I've been meaning to check that out. I need to see that.
Yes, he is kind of like the Godfather. I was super excited to get him on the channel here for his interview.
Of course. Yeah, I know. And you are like,
no,
Mitzi Shore. You really are. You're the Mitzi Shore of this community. If you don't know who that is, so Mitzi Shore, she was a really big name in the comedy world. So in the comedy world, there is a stand-up comedy place called the Comedy Store. And that's in Los Angeles. And it was run by a woman named Mitzi Shore. That's Pauly Shore's mother. And
Oh,
she would curate all the talent, and anybody who wanted to be a comedian needed to see Mitzi. And I
I
feel like that's what
see.
you're doing here. Like, I feel like you're curating all us Vella writers to go on to bigger and better.
Oh man, I just get excited about all of these new voices.
I
It's
know, it's very
so
exciting.
many,
Yes,
so
there's a
many.
ton. I
And
love it.
we also have out on Bella, we also have a bunch of veteran writers
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
coming to us from the world of writing novels. And I feel like
Yes.
these people are coming around the corner, kind of sticking
Yeah.
their head in and like,
I know.
what does
I
this look
know.
like?
Yes, I know.
What does this look like? And they
it's
are
awesome.
also, some of them are really reticent to come over
Yeah.
and write for Vella because they're like, my following won't come with me. They said they won't.
Right.
They
Yeah.
said they won't. Well,
Yeah.
they probably won't.
I
Who
talked to a
cares?
seasoned writer about this recently, and he's got an enormous following. And he's like, "What is this? What is that?"
Exactly.
Because I just sent him, one of my pieces, and I just said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I came out with this. If you want to check it out." And he's like, "What is this platform? Period." Like, like he was like, "I've never
What
even
is this
heard of
for?
this." Yeah, exactly. So it was really cool, and I think he's gonna come over as well. So
Yes.
yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, new writers coming to this platform, and new writers coming up, and seeing things, because quite frankly, I don't know if I would have even explored my writing or put out anything if it weren't for the pandemic. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just not where I was pre-pandemic.
It's the same with me.
So
Exact
yeah.
same with me.
Yeah.
But with me, I got early retirement
There you go.
because I was in a field where the median age was like 35.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I was
Listen, it happens.
much
It's gonna
longer
happen to all of us.
yeah, much longer in that profession for me and my coworkers to start carrying around shovels with them,
Yeah.
maybe they got to bury me on their shift.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like, the pandemic in general, like a lot of people I know, started studying or going in different directions that they probably never would have gone in had it not been for the pandemic.
And that's
It's
super
really
exciting.
fascinating. Yeah, it's really fascinating to see, how people have adapted and grown from this.
Right.
Yeah, because it's, writing, that's just one industry. Look at the remote industry in general across
Oh
several
yeah.
industries. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's so many things have changed radically. So it's going to be really interesting, like you said, like the mask mandate's been lifting, and lockdowns have lifted, just seeing what is going to stay and continue as a new way of life versus what was solely just the pandemic.
Yes,
So
it's going to
just
be
this
very
evolution.
interesting to watch.
Very, very.
And how many generations get to say, while I was alive, basically the whole world stopped.
Right.
The closest thing I can see to it is the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918.
Right, which was it was 1918.
So we're
100
talking
years
our
ago.
grandparents, our great grandparents' time
Yeah.
was the last time
Yeah.
something like this happened.
Right. So, and theirs lasted, I want to say it was about 2 years.
2 years.
So yeah.
I feel like somebody in power said, well, the Spanish flu only lasted 2 years, so this is going to last 2 years. We're done. 2 years.
Well, that's what my assumption was, because I feel like, despite even trying to be better or trying to grow and evolve, I feel like people are still people who, as the year and time progresses, like there are just some things that are just biology that are built into us. Like, no matter how better we want to try to get, I feel like people are just people.
Yes, they are. People are just people, and you're always going to have outliers and things that change the equation. Like,
Right.
for instance, people who would get the COVID and then would intentionally go into grocery stores and cough on things.
Yeah.
And regular people, just normal pedestrian people, are like, what? That's a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I mean, I felt like it was like the wild, wild west when it first started.
It was.
Like, I
It seemed
mean, like, it was just chaos, at the grocery store, shelves were empty, I mean, and even now the supply chain is still affected.
It's still
it has
messed
not
up.
leveled out yet.
It's still messed up for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think it is rectifying itself. And like you said, I think that one of the really interesting things going forward in the next few years is to see, what changes did stick.
Right.
Right. So.
And how long before, the economy truly bounces back and everything, levels out.
Well, that's a good question. That's a $65,000 question.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we all want to know.
Now for my magic lamp question.
Sure.
Let's pretend you picked up a magic lamp at a flea market. You rubbed it and a genie popped out of it. But the genie looked like an 8-inch high Jeff Bezos.
Okay, I was gonna say Robin Williams, but that,
it's Jeff Bezos.
That's fine.
Jeff Bezos says to you, I'm an Amazon genie.
Yeah.
So, but since you're a writer, I'll make any change to Kindle Vella that you want me to make. What would that be?
Do I only get one?
You can have two.
Ooh,
anything over two just starts at I've learned
starts to get a little greedy.
It begins to be a bitch fest, and I jump in there too. So
no, okay, so my number one thing is an author page. So if you're an author who has stuff like on the other outlet, the other avenue, I can't remember what it's
that
called.
would be Kindle Unlimited.
Kindle
Unlimited. KU.
You're good to go. Your stuff's going to populate. But if you are somebody who's just a Vella author, you're SOL. And I think that it shouldn't matter which platform you're on. That would be something that I would very much like, is to have an author page, something where all my stuff is together. Because as of right now, the only way that I can do that is if I, search my name in the results. That's as close as I'm coming to that. So that's my number one change. My number two change would be suggested keywords, because Amazon knows this platform better than any of us ever will. And if there was a way for, I don't know if, I don't even begin to know how the most efficient practice would be, but I would love it if the system would suggest keywords before I manually select them.
That is very interesting. I used to work big data. That was my job before the pandemic.
Sure.
And I was absolutely shocked in the beginning to see that these tags that we're using, I expected them to be a closed list of drop-down options.
Right.
And I think one day they may become that way.
That's entirely possible. And I'm not even saying that I want to, limit myself on what I can and can't do. It's more like what you think that you're going to get searched on versus what you actually get searched on is two completely different things. And it would be nice to have a little bit more guidance from the system. And just more transparency in general to see what their roadmap even looks like.
Yeah, that would be good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So author page, and you're telling me you can't populate your author page?
No, not just as a Vella writer. And I mean, I've looked into it. I've tried searching it. What is it? They want your ISBN number as opposed to the AISN number, which is what Vella's have.
I see.
So, and when I search for it, the system's like, oh, I've never heard of you. I'm like, great. So I went searching for, an answer, and every single thing that I have found suggests that capability is not in that system yet.
Oh, that's wild.
It is.
Huh.
Because it seems pretty basic. It seems like something that they, and not just that, but something they would want writers to aspire to or to have,
Right.
because
Right.
it's in their interest.
I think that's true too. Interesting. Huh. I'm going to have to do a little research after this one.
That's my wish list to Jeff Bezos.
I like it.
amongst a few other things.
Can 2-day shipping really be 2-day shipping again, please?
Oh no, I want to use like, you know, like his yacht or something. Like, I don't even need his yacht. Like, I'll use the servant yacht. Like, that's fine. Like, you know, like, I mean,
I cannot even imagine.
Just to live a day in that man's life. That'd be wild.
I bet I could make a dent in that money.
Yeah, go to outer space. So what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would be a great story.
I wanted to get a picture.
Yeah, I wanted to get a picture. Come on, get a selfie. Come on, Jeff.
All right, you. So I feel like I've asked you all of the basic questions that I ask everybody, that I've put everybody through. So I think I've put you through all of those.
Okay.
The very last one is the one that I would like you to address. I would simply like you to say something to the folks who will be clicking these links down here, because there's going to be a bunch of them, to see your work. What would you like to say to them?
Oh my goodness. What do I want to say? Wow. Thanks.
Read my shit.
Yeah. No, I just, you know, I hope that it makes you laugh if you know, it's later down the line and it's something more, you know, one of my more serious pieces. I hope that you're engaged. I hope that you enjoy it. And I loved making people laugh during this time. You know, I just feel like we need a lot more laughter and a lot more love in the world. And if I can contribute to that, that's the dream. That's the goal.
I'm with you, kid. I'm with you. And for Vella, this is Azriel Lawless and Bethany Gates. You guys take a look. You're going to be seeing that name. From Vella. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.